Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Reds. And of course, I am your host, your YouTuber, signing off and imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vincent. Gonna go raw this week. Was in Cincinnati, Ohio now. Well, folks, before we do, big news we gotta go over, man. Man, it's like the old saying goes, when it rains, it pours, and the day after of last week's recording, the news came out and it was official. Stephanie McMahon has not only stepped down as co-CEO, but has officially resigned from the company. So basically she just said, I quit, screw you guys, I'm going home. Screw you, home. And then left. Now, a lot of speculation and all going on, and like, oh my god, she quit, Vince is going to be in charge, it's all going to go downhill, R.I.P. WWE, blah, 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 blah. Fuck off, dude. Seriously, just, what the fuck? How do people live their life and being so pessimistic, constantly seeing the doom and gloom on shit like that? Just ugh. Like, okay, here's the thing. I know as much as any other asshole out there, which is zero. Do I have my thoughts? Do I have my opinions on them? Yes. Here's what I'm thinking. Rewind the clock. She at first was going to go on a temporary leave. Emphasis on that, temporary leave. Saying the reason was spend time with her kids. I get it. She's got kids that are teenagers. I have a teenager myself now. I got a kid, he's a teenager. You know, you want to spend whatever time you can with your kids while you can, because, you know, there's 1 minute you're coddling them in your arms, having to feed them, change them and all that shit, and then the next minute you're fighting to just try and get one of those awkward side hugs where they're like, come on, do I really gotta? You know, and I get that. Now, given my position, you know, it's not always that difficult comparing to Stephanie's, which is a much more higher demanding job, more, you know, she's in a lot bigger position than me, so yeah, I can understand. You want to spend what time you can with your kids. Now, she was all set to do that, and then all the shit broke down with Vince with what happened. So then it came to, okay, you know what, hold it. I'm not going to let everything my dad made just go to hell that quick. So I'm gonna go off of being on pause and come back just to make sure shit's in order. She comes back. Vince comes back. She says, okay, hey, Dad's back. You know what? I know I said I was going to go on leave, but now I don't want to do leave anymore. I just want to go home. So you guys got this all squared. You guys are all good and situated. I'm going to go home now. And then she put out a day or so after she made that official that she went to Alabama, where all the talent go to get their surgeries and physical therapy done, that she had to get work done on her ankle, and then said her caregiver is Triple H. So, yeah. So, to say she had a good bit going, you know, is a bit of an understatement, and honestly, I'm looking at this at face value, because again, I know nothing. I know as much as any other asshole out there, which is goose egg, zero, none, nada, nilch. Anyone that's saying they have inside information on all this, that, other kind of bullshit, I'm calling bullshit on that, because chances are it's stuff that they're hearing second or third hand, and just, yeah. Now, big question and big fear everyone had in mind right off bat was, well, Steph's gone, Vince is in charge again, Hunter's not going to be in charge of creative anymore. Everything's going to go back to the way it was. Again, way too doom and gloom pessimistic. Hunter had a meeting with the talent stating point blank, no, listen. Everything's still the same. Creative is still the same as is. So, and I'm taking it at face value again. Here's my personal 2 cents. Do I think at some point Vince is going to want to have say in creative and, throw in some stuff on it? Yes. But is it going to be right now at this point in time? Hell no. Hell no. Because Vince is coming back for a specific reason, and it's what everyone is all doom and gloom over. The idea of WWE either being sold or going back to being private. It's one or the other, but Vince has got so much focus on that, and while everyone knows if it was up to him, he would work 25/8. Thankfully, there is no work schedule like that, but he's got so much focused on that, he don't have time to go and go and have a say in creative at the moment. He's focused on doing the business aspect, not the creative aspect. So, do I see something in like 3, 4, 5, 6, even 12 months from now where Vince is like, oh, hey, Paul, come here for a second, pal. Let me ask you, what if? Yeah, I see that happening, because heaven forbid the guy that's in charge of the company would want to have some kind of say on what goes on his television product. Right? How crazy is that? Do I even see him now at this point if he hears an idea like, oh, wait, you want to do that? Well, have you thought about this? Yeah, no different than any other person would. Like, if we heard somebody pitch an idea like, that's a decent idea, but what about this or that? But, yeah, and honestly, I don't see Vince being back as a bad thing, and I'm not singing his praises or anything, but I'm looking at sheer numbers. You look at when Vince was gone, when Vince left, back in July-ish, stocks were roughly about 40, maybe $50. Vince came back, now they're damn near 90 to $100. And, you could say whatever you want on the man, yes. But again, and I've said this before, name me one person that has ever gotten to a high level position like a Vince McMahon or someone like that didn't walk over some people. That if they had the choice of either helping their competition or seeing them drown, they would go and shove the hose down their throat to make them drown. Hell, probably best example on that would be fucking Ray Kroc taking McDonald's out from the original owners. He did that right under their noses. Vince wound up basically just, well, not under their noses, but he came in and took over. But it's business. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I know almost next to nothing on business and markets and numbers and all that. I'm going off of the information that I'm reading and I'm learning as I go. Like I said last week, you want an honest-to-goodness idea and broke down in layman's terms? Go look up Eric Bischoff's 83 Weeks of Strictly Business podcast, because I kid you not, that shit breaks it down Barney style in a real simple way from somebody who actually does know business stuff, not just copy and pasting what they heard on CNN or NBC or some other news place. That's my thing. That's what I say. So, yeah, with that said, now that we're done talking about that, let's switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. It started out with Gunther defending his Intercontinental Championship against Braun Strowman, and this was some big old meaty men you had two big meaty men having meat slapping meat kind of action in the middle of the ring. And folks, yes, even though this show was PG, we had meat slapping meat. Have fun with those jokes and derogatory innuendos. I hope no kids are watching and having to ask Mom, what's he mean? Yeah. Anyways, Xia Li wound up having a match against Tegan Nox. Tegan got the win. Liv Morgan had a match against Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel got the win. Liv, she's still kind of doing that crazy sadist, crazy enough to be considered one of my exes kind of things. So, yeah. And then the big highlight match of the night, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. The second that match was announced, my first thought was Kevin Steen to El Generico. You and I are destined to do this forever. I kid you not, if they ever do a Last Man Standing with these guys, with them on a WWE platform, buddy, I kid you not, I'm going to call it now. I'm calling my shot now, just like Babe. If and when them two have a Last Man Standing, it is going to be up there on the same caliber, if not higher, than La Revenja Last Man Standing. Because, and I'm not a big fan of Last Man Standing matches. On paper, it's a phenomenal idea. You have to beat your opponent senseless to the point they can't get up to the 10 count. The part that takes me out of the match is having to wait for the 10 count. I have seen very few Last Man Standing matches that were actually entertaining to me. Hands down at the top of the list, Kevin Steen versus El Generico La Revenja, Last Man Standing. If you've never seen it, for the love of God, pause this now, watch it, and then come back. And with that said, if you've watched it and then come back, thank you for taking the time to listen to me on that. Was that not a damn good match? So, yeah. With that said, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, they put on a hell of a match. Great match. Phenomenal fucking match of the night. It came to an end when Sami had KO lined up to go and hit him with a hell of a kick. And then next thing you know, boom, Bloodline comes out. Usos and Solo, they go and beat the living crap out of KO. And, excuse me, Sami's just looking like, what? I had this. The Tribal Chief said for me to do this on my own. What? And all the while they're doing this, they're yelling at Kevin Owens. This is a message from the Tribal Chief. You don't cross the bloodline, this, that, and the other kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then, boom, they put him through a table. And Sami's just looking like a look of disappointment and confusion, which is pretty much the same look I have anytime I look at my bank account after I get a new figure for my figure collection. On that note, never mind. We're not going to go into fig hunting on here. Nope. Moving forward. So yeah, that is it for SmackDown. So with that said, let's get into this week's show. Raw in Cincinnati, Ohio. It starts out with the Bloodline, Solo and the Usos coming out, talking about on how they're here, they run Raw, and next week at the Raw 30th anniversary, they're going to do a big acknowledgement ceremony where all generations from the Bloodline are coming out, and it's like, whoa, hold. Does my ears deceive me? All generations? So, obviously we'd see Afa and Sika. We're going to see Rikishi. We're obviously going to have the Usos and Solo. Chances are we'll see Tamina. So does this mean we're going to see The Rock and Rock's daughter? I'm just saying. Because you're saying all generations. Let's all lay that out now. So anyways, as they're saying that, then out come Judgment Day, and they go in there talking about on how they're going to go and beat the crap out of the Usos next week, and they're going to become the new tag champs. And then Dom starts trying to do that tough guy talk, like spent hard time in prison, when all I can think is, wait a sec, Dom, hold it right there. You're gonna compare arrest records with you're gonna compare jail time with the Usos. You're gonna compare arrest records with the Usos. Boy, you are gonna lose that bet real quick. Like, yeah. Yeah. So anyways, then they start squawking back and forth. A little bit of a brawl, and then next thing you know, boom, Mustafa Ali does a surprise attack on Solo. They go to break. And then we come back to having Solo versus Ali as our first match of the night. And this pretty much went just how you would expect. Solo destroying Ali. It was very one-sided. Ali got his shots in, but Solo got the win. And on how that came to be, at one point Kevin Owens came down, took out the Usos. Solo's looking distracted, like, what the hell? Turns around, Ali goes to try and get him, and then it's like, nope. And wham! Pops him with the Samoan spike. 1, 2, 3, that's it. And then they do a bit of a post-match beatdown on KO. There's a bit of a post-match fight with KO and the Usos. And yeah. Next up, we got the Street Profits going against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Again, foundations laid out, possible Hurt Business return. Yeah, I'm getting my names confused on shit. Fuck! Damn it. Solid good action with Cedric and Shelton leading into the break. Post-break, Dawkins wound up getting a hot tag in. And moving good. A lot of quick fluid action going on in this match. Really dug the hell out of it. Match came to an end when MVP, who was ringside, went to go distract the ref, wound up, and then as he's doing that, Cedric and Shelton go and hit this finisher where it's like they lift up the guy, and then Shelton, boom, pops him with a high knee, and then they go for the finish. And as they're doing that, MVP's walking in, whatever reason. Yet the ending was choppy. The ending was really sloppy, but the match itself was good. And I'm not taking away from it because of the ending, because for all we know, that could have been planned. I don't know. But as they're doing that, next thing you know, Dawkins goes and reverses it on Cedric into like a crucifix pin. 1, 2, 3. Next up, we have Elias coming out having a match. And this came to be because Elias went to go to Adam Pearce's office in the back, and as he was about to go in, MVP comes out. Them two have a few exchanging of some words. MVP says, "Oh, how about this? You can have a match. I'll talk to Mr. Pierce. Have a match tonight with who I think is going to win the 2023 Royal Rumble. Alright, you're on." Hinting that, possibly MVP. MVP's music comes out. He's still in his suit with the cane. And hold on. I never said you were going to face me. I said who I thought would win the Royal Rumble. Play song silence, and then we see Omos come out. So, let me just revel in this for a moment. You got the 7-foot giant getting ready to go against Elias. Sometimes the universe just throws you one. Thank you. much so what you would expect. Omos pretty much was leading for this match and was just bulldozed through Elias. He got the win by doing the two-handed chokeslam. This played out very much so like a squash match. And I reveled in the joy of seeing Elias get the shit kicked out of him. Oh, that was so good. So good. I may watch it later after this show again, just to lift my spirits some more. Next matchup, we got Damian Priest and Dominik Mysterio having a tag match against the Alpha Academy. A lot of nice back and forth at the start with Gable winds up becoming the punching bag at one point. And then Otis got the hot tag and the crowd lit up. Now, we all know on how good of a character Otis is, but man, he is getting over like Rover with all these since last week with the crowd reactions, and it's just really good. And yeah, it goes without saying. You got a good enough character, man, you'll be in like Flint and get over. Once you get over, you'll be over. That's all you gotta work, and then you're set. Otis, man, he's over. Because, I mean, who doesn't like seeing a big, giant, 300-pound dude do the worm and then just bulldoze through people like a giant fucking wrecking ball? And that's all it really is, really. Now, at one point, I give Damian Priest credit for this in this match, because at one point, Otis, he was on the middle rope looking like he was getting ready to go do a Vader bomb. Priest got up, moved around, and got on the rope, and then actually gave Otis a chokeslam, the South of Heaven chokeslam, off of the middle rope. And where I give Priest credit is, he gave Otis a chokeslam, because how the hell do you put your hands around how the hell do you put your hands around Otis's throat when the man doesn't even have a neck? Like, seriously, he's just like that, and it's like, the fuck is his neck? How the fuck do you do a chokeslam on a guy that doesn't have a neck? How do you grab him by the throat? Like, it defied physics for him. It felt like it defied physics. Like, huh? But yeah, match came to an end when Gable wound up having an ankle lock on Dominik, and then as Rhea, who's ringside, is trying to push the rope forward for Dom to get it. Next thing you know, the ref sees it, arguing with Rhea. Rhea gets on the apron, starts arguing with the ref. Priest then gets in, hits Gable with the South of Heaven, and then Dominik, while grabbing his ankle, rolls his body over, like, very lazily, like, barely has his arm over him. Draped over him for a cover. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So yeah. Next up we got Io Sky. Io Sky going against Michin, Mia Yim. Again, I'm really... They call her Michin. They call her Mia Yim. I'm having a hard time following. Yeah. Io was leading the pace throughout the entire match. It was a good match. Mia got the win though at the end. Mia had Candice LeRAE at her side. Now, obviously, with AJ being out, he messed up his ankle, so he's going to be out for a few months. So, kind of feels like, yeah, I see why they kind of stopped with the whole Mia being part of the OC bit thing for a bit. But, either way, really like on how, and that's the one thing that one of the things that I absolutely love about wrestling is on how quick they can transition. Well, this guy broke his leg, so hey, instead of having him feud with this person, now we're going to have this guy feud with them. So, yeah. Either way though, Mia got the win doing what I'm guessing is Tony Atlas's favorite finisher ever, Eat Defeat. If you get the reference, you get the reference. And for those that don't, let me elaborate and enlighten you a little. Tony Atlas has a bit of a freaky foot thing going. I'll leave it at that because there may or may not be small ears listening to this show. Moving forward, though, yeah. Mia Yim got the win doing Eat Defeat, so that's pretty much it. Up next, we had Akira Tozawa doing a match against Bronson Reed, and this came to be because Tozawa wound up talking to Adam Pearce, saying he wants in on the Royal Rumble. He said, listen, we can't just throw random spots out to anyone. You know, the people that are in it have earned it. Now, if you have a match tonight and you get a win, and help your chances. Okay. So, yeah, Bronson Reed, and this very much so what you'd expect. Reed pancaked Tozawa. Now, all I'm going to say is, Akira Tozawa would have never had to worry about any of these kind of problems if he still had his Ninja Clan. Unfortunately, he does not, so yeah. If he would have had his Ninja Clan still, this wouldn't be a problem. Either way, though, Bronson Reed got the win, doing the big splash off the top. They're now calling that, instead of a splash, tsunami, because Reed is a big, thick boy. So, yeah. Next up, now it's time for main event of the night. 6-way elimination match to determine the #1 contender and who's going to face Austin Theory next week for the coveted United States Championship. Oh, and may I add, Raw's 30th anniversary is in my beloved hometown of Philadelphia. So, aside from the traditional cheesesteak and Broad Street references, be ready for a really good Philly crowd. Philadelphia, don't disappoint me, please. Now, the opponents for the 6-way match are Seth Elizabeth Rollins, because I refuse to accept the fact that his middle name is frickin', Finn Balor, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, and the almighty Bobby Lashley. And this was a damn good match. Everyone going at everyone. There was at no point at any time where it was just like, okay, we're just going to have two guys sitting there lazily up against the guardrail or up against the corner like this. Like, okay, now what? Huh? No, they didn't. And if it what did happen at any point, they did not show it on camera. And man, I'll give Seth credit on this one. He did the lion's share in this match. He did 3 of the eliminations. He did the first 3. You know, first he took out Miz when Miz had Dolph Ziggler in a figure 4. Ziggler reversed it, and then as Miz has got his lifting himself up like, no. Seth then wham hits him with a curb stomp, 1, 2, 3, takes him out. Then he winds up taking out Dolph at one point later on with a curb stomp again. And then winds up taking out Finn. And Corbin winds up getting taken out later on by Bobby Lashley via a spear. And it was just, yeah. And then it came down to Seth and Bobby. And Bobby wound up getting a spear on Rollins. And Austin Theory, who was ringside the whole time watching, then his show ended with Theory and Bobby having a stare down like, yeah. Now, at one point, I do want to also emphasize during the match, and I don't want to skip this. At one point, Omos came out and Bobby's just looking like, the hell's going? What's going on, man? What? Listen, I said we weren't cool yet, but what? Like, and the wheels in my head turn, and I'm thinking, okay, MVP's a businessman. That's on what they always emphasize. That's on how MVP carries himself. He's looking to put the Hurt Business back in order. Bobby may not be 100% in yet. So, if Bobby's not in for the big heavy, as he was in the Hurt Business, well, he needs another guy in there for it. Who else? Who else would be the best logical choice? Somebody MVP was already working with. right? It's not like he could just go and grab some random 6 foot 260 guy who's built like a fucking Greek god. You know, so yeah. So with that said, that is it for this week's show, folks. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back watch some of the episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter, Team Vicious. Leave any interesting complaints, questions, thoughts, concerns on down below. I'm really quick at responding to them, and I'll talk about whatever all day long. Also, thank you to my executive producer, LeRAE Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure to check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Details are down below. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, make sure you guys check out whatamanure.net for some vicious rants apparel. Help support the show. Perfect gift for somebody for Valentine's Day coming up. You know, what better way to say I love you than by giving them a shirt that says if you love me greater, if you hate me. You know? Also perfect shirt to give. Also, if you don't want to give away any of your own personal clothing to Goodwill, buy a Vicious Rant shirt and give it to Goodwill. And don't forget to check out all of these cool ass casts right now on the Twitter. Kenny Killer, DSB_IB, Diabolica, RA, Sergeant Curry Pants and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.